Hey, hi, hello. All right, so this is the opening clip to a brand new vlog, not my TV. So this is going to be a week-long Ari Picks My Reads vlog. So let me show you the 5 books that Ariana has picked. Some of these I have audio for, some of them I do not. I'm going to attempt to find audio for all of them. We'll see how this goes. It might be a bit longer than a week, simply because I don't know if I can read 5 books in 5 days. That's kind of like what I would have to do in order to finish these. So let's start. So the first book that I have is Killjoy. This is by Holly Jackson, and this is the novella prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Now, last year I read all of the, I read the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I did end up DNFing the 3rd book around 25 pages in. I just felt like everything that had happened in the first 2 books, character development, completely unraveled. I didn't enjoy it, but I'm really excited for this because this is supposed to take place, I believe, 6-ish months before the first book. So this is about 6 months before A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We are still following Pip and all of her friends, but they are her friend Connor is actually throwing a murder mystery party. So that's what this is. It's very, very small, but I do have the audiobook. I did go ahead and grab it off Audible. Reading with my eyes recently has just not been a thing unless it's on my Kindle. So I did go ahead and grab the audio for this. It's not very long, like 2 hours. The next one that I have is also new to my shelves, and that is the official bind-up of Never Never. So this is parts 1 through 3. Originally, these were written as novellas. So part 1, part 2, part 3. And Colleen Hoover and Tarryn Fisher finally bound it all together, so we have all of it in one volume. I did soft DNF this last year during a Colleen Hoover vlog that never saw the light of day. I'm thinking that I may do another Colleen Hoover vlog, like a new one, where I read some other Colleen Hoover that I have not read yet. So I'm probably going to be ordering those as well, but I really just loved this cover. And we're going to try it again. I do not have audio for this as of right now, but you can get audio for parts 1, 2, and 3 off of Audible, but they are Audible exclusives. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to pay the money to go ahead and get the audio, or if I'm just going to read this. Colleen Hoover is an author that I can read with my eyes, paper-wise, like paper book, physical book. So I may just read this one. The next one that Ari picked is What Once Was Mine. This is part of the Twisted Tale series, This is a Disney retelling series. So essentially, authors, these are written by multiple authors. I think there are a few repeat people that do these books, but for the most part, every book is written by a different person. This one is written by Liz Braswell, and this is the Rapunzel Tangled retelling. So essentially, in Tangled, if you've never seen it, and this is a spoiler for you, I'm sorry, but it's been out for like 10 years, I think. So in Tangled, we follow Rapunzel. She is obviously kidnapped by Mother Gothel, as per usual with that fairy tale. However, her mother, the queen, while pregnant with Rapunzel, became very ill, and they gave her a tea or a potion made from the sundrop flower. Yeah, the sundrop flower. And in this dark retelling, we are following a brother and a sister, and the sister is ill. I believe she has cancer. I mean, it's literally in like the first part of the book, but I believe she has cancer, and she asks him to tell her the story of Tangled and Rapunzel, and he decides to give it its own little twist. So instead of Rapunzel's mother, the queen, drinking a potion from the sundrop flower, she actually drinks a potion or a tea made from the moondrop flower, which gives her silver hair. So instead of the power to heal, she has the power to hurt. That's what this is. Someone sent me this. So if you're watching this and you sent this to me, thank you so much. The next book that she picked was No Exit by Taylor Adams. This was originally a December 2018 book of the month book. I added it as an add-on, I believe, in December, because I have been wanting to read this so that I can watch the movie. I've heard the movie's not great, but even so, this is a mystery thriller. This is a thriller. The back just says 13 hours, 4 strangers, 1 missing child, no exit. She knows her odds, she'll fight anyway. I believe it's a group of people that are on a road trip, and one of them like hitchhikes or something with these people. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I go into my thrillers pretty blind, but this one has been on my radar for at least the last year, so I am going to be picking this up as well. And the last book that Ariana picked for her Ari Picks My Read vlog is Grady Hendrix's new book, How to Sell a Haunted House. I did start this book last month, so in February. Sorry, I did start this book in February. However, February is not a great month for me to be reading grave horror, so I had set it down with the intention of picking it back up in March or April. So that's what this is. That's How to Sell a Haunted House. So already picked this, have to read it, very excited. So those are the 5 books that I will be reading for this vlog. Hopefully I can get this out in a week, you know what I mean? Like I said, most of these I do have audio for. So I do have audio for Killjoy, and I do have, well, I should say 2 of them I have audio for, and I do have audio for No Exit. I am waiting for the library to give me audio to the Grady Hendrix book, How to Sell a Haunted House. If I don't get it, that's okay. And then Never Never, I think I'll probably read with my eyes, and I don't think there is an audiobook for What Once Was Mine. So I'm kind of just playing everything by ear at this point, but we're gonna read a lot of things. So until the next one, I'll give you guys an update when I have one. Hello friends. All right, so it's about 4 hours since my last clip. I did do some reading sprints tonight with Kelsey and Amy on my channel, so I was able to read most of Killjoy on the sprints. I did have about 30 minutes left, which I listened to while I played some Dreamlight Valley on my Switch. And I'm giving this book 4 stars. I personally would suggest reading this book before reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder if you are new to the series, since this book does take place about 6 months before the events of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I really enjoyed this. It was fun following Pip as she tried to figure out who the murderer at this murder mystery party was, and I don't know, it was just like an all-around good time. It was only about 215 pages, so it was a quick read. I listened to it in roughly an hour and a half. It was like just under a 3-hour audio, so I highly suggest this. I really do. So yeah, that's it. I do not know which book I will be reading next because Ariana is currently asleep, and I told her that she could pick the next book. So the next clip that you see will be me letting you know which book she picked, but I will run through really quick what the 4 other books are, and I'll have her pick when she gets up in the morning. So the first one is Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. Next one is What Once Was Mine. I feel like this is the one that she's gonna pick for me to read next, but we'll see what happens. No Exit is the third one that she picked. And then we have How to Sell a Haunted House. So in the morning when she wakes up, I will let her go ahead and pick the next book for me. But we do have 1 book down, and like I said, I highly recommend this, especially if you either A, are just starting A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I would suggest reading this first, but if you are already a fan of the series, I would definitely pick this up. Even if you didn't like the 3rd book, like me, I would definitely pick this up because it was a fun time. So I'll see y'all in the next clip. Hello friends. So I just got off of sprints with Amy. So I'm going to give a little bit of a book update. So I started Never Never. I did go ahead and get the audio for this. So unfortunately, the audio is only available through Audible, and it's broken into 3 parts. So this book originally was 3 parts. This is the new bind up that just came out like last week. So if you want all of the books, it comes in a bind up now. So, but as far as audio, you still have to buy the audio like in parts. Okay, so I made it about halfway through the first part of Never Never. I'm on chapter 8 and there's like 14 chapters, so I'm a little bit over halfway through. This book is about 2 teenagers who apparently have amnesia. They've always been best friends, which the best friendship of their childhood turned into a relationship. So they are dating at this point, and they've been together for 4 years. But when we open the book up, they don't know who they are. They also don't know anyone around them. But they can remember other things. So, like, they remember things that have happened, like, in current events. They remember song lyrics. They remember, like, celebrities, like, things like that. But they do not remember, they don't know each other, and they don't know any of their friends. They don't know their parents. Like, they don't know anything that's happened, because something has happened that's made their families hate each other, and they don't know what that is. So, yeah. I soft DNF'd this book last year, but I got the bind up because I liked the cover. I pre-ordered the bind up, and this was a book that Ari picked for this vlog. So I'm actually really enjoying this, listening to the audiobook. From what I understand, Tarryn Fisher, this is a Colleen Hoover Tarryn Fisher collaboration, and Tarryn Fisher writes the part of Charlie, and Colleen Hoover writes the part of Silas. So I love a good Colleen Hoover that's dual POV. I personally, those are my favorite Colleen Hoover books anyway. So this book is enjoyable. It's just, there's like a lot happening. There's a lot happening. But yeah, so far, I don't know how I feel about it. It's feeling like a 3.5, but it could go up, down, anyway, around, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll see how this pans out, to be honest. But they are seniors in high school. I don't know if I said that. So I don't think this is supposed to be YA. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be an adult novel, just with younger characters. That Colleen Hoover tends to do that. She tends to write younger characters, but for adults. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's fine. And that's really the only update that I have. I'm going to try to finish part 1 tonight. If I do finish it before I go to bed, then I'll do another update. Because I do have to like clean the kitchen and do a few other things before I turn in for the night anyways. So I'm hoping to get the rest of part 1 done. I am listening to this at 2.5 times speed. The narrators are extremely slow reading. So that's it. That's all that I have for this update. And I am on the hunt for the rest of the audios for the other books that Ari picked, because I just don't foresee myself reading these physically. I am looking for them via like Libby and Hoopla before I do Audible. But, you know, we love a good Audible, like, book, too, I guess. It's just with Audible, unfortunately, I have to purchase them. I have credits stacked up. I just don't love to purchase Audible if I don't have to, because that means that I own it. And I don't always want to own these books. You know what I mean? So, that's all I got. Thank you for listening. And I'll see y'all in the next clip. Hello, friends. Alright, so I have finished part 2 of Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Tarryn Fisher. I listened to this at work. It was only about an hour and a half at 2 times speed. These sections are not super long. I think they're only like 3 to 4 hours, depending on, like, part 1 I think was like 4 hours, but it was like 2 hours at 2 times speed. I'm sitting at a 3 to 3.5 star right now. I don't know if I'm really enjoying this book. I'm going to say Never Never is definitely not in the top for Colleen Hoover for me. Part 2 took a really weird turn that I can't really say much about because it's spoilery. But I think I'm going to do a Colleen Hoover spoiler vlog. with a few books, and this will be one of those books, because this book, I want to like it, but it's like a cross between Freaky Friday and 50 First Dates, and we don't have any explanation as to why this is happening to our main characters, which are Charlie or Charlize and Silas, her boyfriend. Like, there's a lot of things. I would definitely read trigger warnings with this, because there is sorry if this is spoilery for y'all. I know some people don't like trigger warnings, but I feel it necessary to give these. There is an inappropriate relationship between Silas and a faculty member at school. She's not a teacher, but like still the authority thing there. There's also a major cheating trope, but not only between Silas and this faculty member, but also between Charlie and another student, like one of her friends. It's very strange. It's definitely like teenagers, but written for adults. Like, this is definitely an adult book. It's not YA, but it's just very weird. There's also like an element of Romeo and Juliet in it. Like, I don't know how I feel about this book. It won't be a top Colleen Hoover book for me. I don't foresee it getting more than 3.75 stars. I need the ending to make sense, or this is going to be a wash for me. Like, I don't love this book. Colleen Hoover tends to have some toxicity to her books anyway. This is probably the most toxic Colleen Hoover book I've ever read. And if I lose subscribers for that, I apologize. I will be keeping it on my shelf because I love Colleen Hoover's covers. But this probably won't be a book that I pick back up and reread. I just am not loving it. So we will see how it goes. I'm going to finish it at this point. Like, I'm over 50% through, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to keep reading it. But this isn't one that I personally would recommend. I'm not going to recommend it probably, unless the ending is just like phenomenal. So that's really all I have right now. I plan on listening to part 3 tomorrow when I'm at work, and we'll see how I feel at the end. So yeah, I'll see y'all after I finish this book. Hello. All right, so I've just gotten home from work, but I wanted to do a quick update. I finished Never Never last night. So this is currently Tuesday. Like, it's technically Tuesday morning. So I actually technically finished this yesterday morning, so Monday morning. I'm giving this book a 2-star. I did not love this. I felt like the ending was strange. Like, it was too neat, but it was also strange. And I really did not enjoy this book. I will be keeping it because I've gotten some questions from people asking if I'm going to keep this book, because I was reading it on Sprints, or I started on Sprints, and I was asked if I was going to keep this book if I didn't like it. I am going to keep it because it will round out my Colleen Hoover shelf. Plus, this is like a newer cover, and I'm really liking all of her new covers. But this won't be one probably that I recommend to people. It's just not, I don't know, something about it was really weird. I don't know if it's because it's supposed to be like an amnesia romance. I don't know. Like, in the end, like, they do what they need to do. But I said this before, this was a weird combination of Romeo and Juliet, Freaky Friday, and 50 First Dates. Like, it was a weird story to read. And also, if you want to read the audio for this, it is only available on Audible, and it is still broken into 3 parts. This book is now a bind up, so it goes through each part. Like, it does give you part 1, part 2, part 3, but it also just continues chapters. So it would be like part 3, chapter 33, like that. Yeah, I still love Colleen Hoover. This book was not it for me. I didn't really like it. It invoked a little bit of emotion in me at one point, because something happens when we see some diary entries, but otherwise, like, I don't know. I wanted to love these characters, and I just didn't really love anything about this book at all. So that's it. I will now be starting What Once Was Mine. This is by Liz Braswell. This is the What if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower. So this is the Rapunzel story, which is part of the A Twisted Tale series, which is from Disney. These books, I read the Mulan one, and I liked it. It was fine. I plan on having all of these on my shelf because I love these covers, but yes, I am going to read this. So basically, this is Rapunzel, as we know in Tangled, the Disney movie, but her mother drinks a potion from the moondrop flower instead of the sundrop flower, and this ensues in silver hair instead of golden hair, and the silver hair causes her to hurt people, unlike the golden hair, which causes her to heal people. That's what this is. So it's just a twisted version of this. I'm very excited for this book, honestly. Hello, friends. Okay, so I'm waiting for Ari's bus. So I'll do a quick update. I did finish What Once Was Mine. I'm giving it 4 stars. It was a bit long, in my opinion, but it was a good retelling. It was pretty dark. It was darker than I was expecting, I think, is why I keep saying that it was dark. Mother Gothel is darker in this one, if that's possible. Kind of the whole premise of it is a bit darker, so there's that. So go into it knowing that it is YA, but I felt like it was kind of dark for a YA. So that one is done. What Once Was Mine. The last book that I will be doing is How to Sell a Haunted House. I do not have it sitting here with me because, again, I'm outside waiting for Ari's bus. But How to Sell a Haunted House, that is by Grady Hendrix. It's his newest book. I know that earlier in the vlog I said that I would also be reading No Exit by, is it Taylor Adams, I think? I will not be reading that in this vlog. There's a different thing that's happening with No Exit in June, so I need to wait on that one. I don't want to read it now and then find out I don't like it and then have to read it again in June. So I'm gonna be waiting until June for that. So this last one, the premise of this, I believe, is I don't love to read the synopses on thriller horror, but I believe it's a woman loses her parents unexpectedly, and her brother have to figure out what to do with their house. There's like a creepy doll element to it, and some other things like that. So I'm really excited for this one. It is a 5-star prediction for me, and I did pre-order this book, so please, Mr. Hendrix, do not disappoint. But I will be starting that. I have the audio and the physical book for that one. I did read the first like 4 chapters, I think, in February, because it came out, I believe, in January. So right after it came out, I read the first 4 chapters, and then I had to put it down. It just wasn't the time for me to read it. So it is grief horror, if I didn't say that. So hopefully I will love this book, and I'll give you guys an update once I get into it. Hello, friends. All right, so I am currently doing Thursday night sprints with Rainy and Nell. So I thought I would hop on really quick. I just hit 52% of How to Sell a Haunted House. This book is feeling like 4.5 at the moment, but it could go up to 5 stars. I think this is a really well told story about grief. I really like both of the main characters, who are a brother and a sister. I think that the characters work well together, and I relate to them both. So that's really the only thoughts that I have at the moment. I probably seem tired. I'm coming off of 2 days of a migraine, so my body is like, okay, well, your migraine's over, so time to recover. So hopefully tomorrow I can recover from this, but I wanted to do a really quick update and let you guys know that I am still reading this. I think it's great, honestly. Grady Hendrix is one of my favorite authors, an auto buy for me. So when I get either like 75% through or when I finish, I'll do another update. I only have about 2 hours left on the audio, listening to it at 2.5 times speed, so I should be done with it by like tomorrow. So that's it. So when I have another update, I will be back. Hello friends. So I wanted to come in and give my final update and like close out this vlog. So I did finish How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This is the last book that Ari picked. I did say this I think in a clip before, but she did technically also pick No Exit by Taylor Adams, but that book is actually getting pushed to June. So there's a reason, okay? There's a reason for it. But as of right now, this is the last book that Ari picked. I am giving this book 5 stars. It was iffy through the first, like, maybe 1/4 of the book. It was feeling more like a 4.5. But then we got to really like the second half of the book and the horror elements really started to play out. This book is a rough read. I do want to say that. I did listen to the audio for this. And like I said, I did finish it today. I finished it like a few hours ago at this point. But I wanted to kind of sit with it. Yeah, I wanted to sit with it for a little bit. So this book follows our main character, Louise. Her parents have both died tragically in a car crash, and her and her brother have to decide what to do with all of their belongings, including their house, it's haunted, as the title says, but they don't know what or who is haunting the house. So I will say this is a true Grady Hendrix book. In the fact of gore, there is quite a bit of gore in this book. Now, the gore really doesn't start happening until the second half. But I do need people to be aware that there is a gore element. I was kind of skeptical because I read a pretty big portion of this book before any like true gore happened. But once it happened, it really did happen. So I would put the gore like on a similar level to a Southern Book Club's guide to a Southern Book Club's guide to hunting vampires, killing vampires. Here you go. The Southern Book Club's guide book. I would put the gore on that level. Because once it happens, it really happens. Now this, again, I've said this before, this is grief horror. So you are going to have to know if you can handle this or not. I would look up some trigger warnings for this. The biggest trigger warning for me, the biggest trigger for me personally is front and center of this book, which is death of a parent. But there could be things in this book that trigger other people, especially if you're not a horror reader. So that's really all that I have for this vlog. If you enjoy these kinds of vlogs, let me know. I do have another vlog in this style. Somebody else picked books for me. That will be coming out very shortly. I'm going to be actually working on that as soon as I finish this one. So let me know if you like these, because then after I do that one, I could do some other ones where I have like friends pick books. And I also am still continuing my reading my friends' favorite books, which is a different type of thing. They gave me, I think I asked each of them for 5 or 6 books. I did do a video last year. I did upload the first video for this series from my friend Michelle from Michelle's Library. If you want to watch it, it is in a playlist of its own. So you can watch that on my channel if you want to. So you can understand kind of how it works. They do take me quite a bit to make because there's a lot of books. But I did have to take a little bit of a hiatus from it because I was kind of overwhelming myself with trying to like get all of the books and do all the things. So I am going to be continuing that series, but I also wanted to throw in this where people pick books off of my actual TBR, which is what I did with Ari and what I did with the other person in my house. If you've been on Sprints, you know who that person is. I just had them pick books that I already had on my hopefuls or my TBR list. So If you like these videos, let me know. Please hit like. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know why not, because it's so much fun over here on this corner of the internet. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And that like button, it's totally free and it helps the algorithm. All of my links will be down below for things like Instagram, Storygraph, Goodreads, etc., etc. If you want to be my friend on other corners of the internet. If you want to leave me something down below, leave me a book stack emoji or some kind of bookish emoji down below if you don't know what to say. Otherwise, leave me a comment down below about what you have read so far this month or what kinds of stuff you would like to see on this channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!